Good afternoon. Picture this. It's 1912 and you're ready to get on a big ship that sailed off to New York to open new ideas and new possibilities for you. Couple days on the ship, eventually a disaster occurs. You're stuck in the freezing cold Atlantic Ocean. What are you gonna do? Many people were faced with this question back in 1912. Some went on lifeboats, others drowned, and others were able to manage while holding on to a piece of driftwood, maybe. Today, my presentation will be over the Titanic. I have 3 key points. The first one being about the design, detail, and beginning of the Titanic. Second will be over the historical facts and other ideas that went into the making of it. Then third and lastly, the Titanic will be over the shipwreck and the aftermath of it. So starting off, the Titanic is a major historical ship. The reason for this being is that it was a non-war related ship. Then, J. Bruce was the creator of it. Him and a man named William partnered up for the idea and making of this ship. They had many other designers help with this ship, like Wolf and another name that helped design the ship. Thomas Andrews helped also design the ship. Some minor differences about the Titanic are in the beginning, it didn't have as many lifeboats. As you can see here, they added a lot more in the end results of the ship. Which leads me to point 2, the basic facts of what into the Titanic. So it first sailed on April 10th and then sank on April 15th of 1912. The ship's sinking took about 2 hours and 40 minutes total to completely submerge. The Titanic now remains in the Atlantic Ocean. There were over 2,200 people on the Titanic. Later on, 700 survived, while 1,500 people passed. Some other facts about the ship are its mast and funnels. The mast, as you can see here, like most ships, has its sails. The Titanic didn't, because they had no use for its sails. The Titanic, unlike other ships, they had used it for cargo. Now the funnels, originally the Titanic didn't need 4, but later on they added them for more detail. Which brings me to point number 3, the ship sinking. As I said earlier, it took about 2 hours and 40 minutes total for this ship to sink, if not longer. So this took place around the middle of the night and in the morning. Researchers have, still to this day, gone down to try to find remains and artifacts on the Titanic. Some things that they find are things in this photo like gloves or shoes. They have found jewelry, they found cutlery, other artifacts just swimming around at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. And as you can see in this picture, as the Titanic was sinking, when it hit the iceberg, the Titanic snapped in half, leading it to be in this kind of slant for the remaining 2 hours. So like most storybooks, the Titanic had a beginning, middle, and ending. As you can see here, this is the beginning picture where it was in the making. Here, this is the middle, where the Titanic was sailing off, and you can see here, as the funnels I was talking about earlier, they show that they're smoking. Not all of them are doing this, because some of them are props. And lastly, here's the end as it was sinking in that slant shape. Thank you for listening to my presentation over the Titanic.